What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wombo Combo Show. My name's Ben Kepler.
I'm Ben Uconis, and you can never sing.
Oh, I can sing. I'm the best singer around. What are you talking about?
Best
Hey,
singer
guys,
in the valley.
let's get into what we got for you this week. We got a lot of football to cover. A lot of different moves have been made throughout the NFL for us to check. But yeah, let's get into it. First game I'm going to cover here just real quickly. We already covered it on Saturday. That was our Rams and Vikings game. Rams pulled it out. Everybody back. Puka back. Cooper Kupp back. The whole gang. They all did very well. They obviously weren't supposed to win this game and did, and now aren't going to be trading any of these players away that we thought that they might be losing.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're going to keep them because their division is wide open.
Yeah, their division is
taking.
wide open. Like right now, the
So-
Cardinals are in first place, I believe. So
Technically, yeah.
yeah, so, I mean, yeah, it's wide open. So no need to rebuild right now, even though the Rams probably will have to in the near future. Let's get into our first game that we wanted to cover in depthly here, and this was the Green Bay Packers, and they traveled down to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This was actually kind of a game.
It was.
It really was. Didn't think it was. When we talked about this on Saturday, we were like, this is going to be a blowout.
I thought so for sure.
This was almost,
Like-
we were almost wrong.
We
on
are
this.
almost wrong.
We were almost wrong. Taking a look at this game from the Green Bay Packers side of things, we did have two quarterbacks play because Jordan Love has a groin injury, I believe it is.
Yeah, he has a sprained groin.
They did get good
So-
news today that it's not that bad.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's day to day.
He's day to day. I think that means most likely he'll play this week, guys. If not, I don't think Malik Willis is a plug and play for you. Just don't. I don't hate Malik like I did at the beginning of the season. He's obviously gotten better, but I mean, there's other people in the free agency to grab other than Jordan Love. Or I'm not Jordan Love. Malik Willis.
Malik
Yeah.
Willis.
Looking at the rest of the Packers for this game, Josh Jacobs absolutely destroyed. 25
Yeah.
carries, 127 yards, two touchdowns. Like, man, I played against him. He ruined me. I lost my week because of Josh Jacobs. So, Josh Jacob owners, make sure you're spamming the like in the chat right now because I know that you guys are living high right now. Wide receivers, it was kind of a bore day.
Yeah, it was quiet for all of them.
Yeah, Kraft did okay.
So, Kraft with the
He's
the
lone
touchdown.
touchdown. He did decent. But when you look at everybody else, Romeo Dubes, 3 catches, 72 yards. Is that decent? I mean, in real life, yes, that is good. But for fantasy football,
wise, I mean, even PPR, that's still only
10 points.
10 points.
Yeah, that's like a bare minimum, I think. Jaden Reed got his only points of the day, really. He was riding with like 0.9 points most of the day, 1.5 points, and then he caught like a 60, 50-something yard, 40-yard maybe pass at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So Jaden Reed, also not a great
He
game.
was quiet all day.
Christian Watson, not much either. Let's look at the Jaguars side of things, though, Ben, because there's some things that happened in this game.
Yeah.
First of all, one of our main trade targets that we think was available for wide receivers, he is now done for the season.
Yep.
Christian Kirk broke his collarbone in this game.
Ouch.
So he is done. Also, Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know the depth of his injury, but I know that he is considered week to week, which is not good.
With his it's like a chest and rib injury.
Chest rib injury. Okay, he must have got
like that.
smacked.
Yeah.
He got smacked on a play.
So,
he had a decent game, 60 yards and a touchdown. Evan Ingram was the other touchdown scorer in the past game. He had 36 yards. Not really a great day, but for tight end, we'll take it. Right?
Yeah, that's
serviceable.
Solid for tight end.
Tank
fantasy-wise.
Bigsby, obviously leading the way in the backfield. He did not have a touchdown, but 18 carries, 78 yards. That's pretty good usage. Obviously, ETN did not play, but it didn't look like Dearness Johnson was really any part of this offense, and they didn't use him.
Yeah, no,
run.
I mean it's Tank Bigsby's job to lose now.
I think so too. I think I agree with you. As much as Trevor Lawrence and ETN went to college together, got drafted together, and have that chemistry, I just think that Tank Bigsby might be the better running back right now.
Yeah, no, I mean
He's the hot hand.
even before ETN's injury, he was still struggling. Like,
Yeah, no,
So-
for sure. But I mean, Tank Bigsby last year wasn't very good. So this is
Yeah,
it's nice to see that that their draft pick has come to fruition. He's going to be decent. He's playing well.
Yeah.
Because last year he was a fumble machine. That's
Yeah,
all
that's
Tanks
true.
Bigsby did last year
Yeah.
is fumble. Trevor Lawrence did have a decent day. Not sure what the Jags are going to do with their franchise here moving forward because he's playing half decent. 21 of 32, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
He's still the most overrated quarterback in the league.
He's still very overrated.
I don't think he's not that guy.
He
He's not that guy that they said he was going to be.
Oh no, he is not Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
They were making him out to be Peyton Manning, and he's most certainly not Peyton
No,
Manning.
not at all.
He's decent. Don't get me wrong, but he is not in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the NFL right now by any stretch of the imagination. Next game we're going to cover here, Ben. This one was the return of Tua. We were talking about the Miami Dolphins hosting the Cardinals down in Miami, obviously. This game, we thought we would see Tua be a little bit rusty, right?
And he was. I think he was.
He wasn't terrible,
He was
though.
accurate.
He was very accurate. He had 234 yards, 28 completions on 38 attempts, 1 touchdown. He brought back to life pretty much everybody on that team. The offense, Achan,
Yeah,
everybody
Yeah.
did a lot better. Tyreek Hill, 6 catches, 72 yards. That's a lot better.
He still vultured 2 touchdowns, and we had to hear about it all weekend,
No,
or
I
all
forgot
day
all
Sunday.
about this, Ben. I wish we would have skipped this game.
Well, it happened already, and we have to talk about it because we were so against playing Mostert.
We were against playing Mostert, guys. If you don't know, usually we do have a third with us, our buddy Luby Doobie. He is a big Raheem Mostert fan, and somehow Raheem Mostert on 9 carries for 19 yards got 2 touchdowns. So we're going to have to hear about that when he comes back. Like I said, he might not make it through customs. So maybe we won't.
We won't.
Maybe there's a possibility that he's with El Chapo. Anyways, let's take a look at the rest of this. Devon Achane, like I said, with Tua back, the running game gets an improvement. He did not have touchdowns because of old man Mostert taking them all.
He had the reception touchdown.
Oh, did he have a reception touchdown?
Yeah, he had the only one.
Okay, so he did have one through the air. He ended up with 147 total yards on the game and a touchdown. Really good. 6 catches. Like I said, Tua back, everybody better.
Yep.
Looking at the Cardinals side, though, they actually won this game. We didn't expect that.
I honestly didn't know they won the game until yesterday, morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought for sure that the Dolphins had won this game.
No, that Chad Ryland kicked a field goal at the end of the game to put
Yeah.
them ahead. But looking at their stats, they did pretty good. So it's kind of warranted. Kyler Murray, 26 of 36 for 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had another 19 on his legs. James Conner, 20 rushes, not very efficient.
No.
He only had 53 yards, but he did get a touchdown, so fantasy day, pretty good. He also had 2 catches for 16. It was the Trey McBride show in this one. 9 catches, 124 yards. Also, Marvin Harrison Jr. came alive.
Yeah.
6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty
Big day.
good. So
Big day.
starting to see what you wanted to out of them. I know that as much as they have Jalen Ramsey, the rest of that defense is pretty pathetic, in my opinion, on the Dolphins. Just year over year, they never get better.
Yeah, no, it's
Ever.
always the same.
It's always the same. It's always the same skill level. They're mid. But anyways, there wasn't much more to cover in this one. Michael Wilson, 5 catches, 31 yards and a touchdown. But other than that, Cardinals roll. They're top of the divisions right now. Next game, surpriser of the week, I think. I think this was the most surprising game to me, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was. I honestly thought the Jets would handle this. This was the Jets going up to New England to take on the Patriots, guys. And why trade for Devontae Adams if you're not going to make the playoffs?
Right, man. he just went to the Raiders on the East Coast.
Yeah, he just went to the East Coast Raiders. 100%. I agree with that statement. Aaron Rodgers does not look very good. He was 17 of 28 for 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. The stats don't match what the game looked like. He did not look like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he looked old, unfortunately.
So.
Brees Hall, he had 16 carries for 80 yards. Braylon Allen had 12 carries for 32 yards. Braylon Allen had the touchdown.
Yep.
Top wide receiver for the Jets still, even though Devontae Adams is there. We've been talking about him with our watchers when they ask our questions in Q&A there. What do we do with Garrett Wilson? Is Garrett Wilson going to be affected by this?
Nope.
He We were right.
Yeah.
He got even better than he already was. Garrett Wilson is on a 100-yard a game streak right now, guys. Tyler Conklin had a touchdown. Also, Xavier Gibson had a touchdown. His was a 1-yard touchdown. Not worth even taking a look at him. I don't like Tyler Conklin personally as a tight end option. There's just too many other good options out there. Looking at the Patriots, though, Drake May got injured.
Yeah, he did.
Concussion, I believe, right? I think
I
it's
don't
concussion.
remember.
Off the top of my head,
Off the top of my
believe
head,
it.
I don't remember.
I think it was concussion. But we'll chat later. Let us know, guys, if we're wrong about the concussion
I
portion.
also didn't know that the Patriots won this game until hours after.
Where were you all weekend? What
I
were you
was
doing?
watching football.
Not these ones, apparently.
No. I just wasn't paying attention that hard for whatever reason.
I guess so. Ramondre Stevenson had a decent day. Again, it's kind of the same as James Conner. Terrible when it comes to the actual production. But 20 carries, 48 yards,
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You can't complain.
12 points right there.
Yeah,
2 touchdowns.
You can't complain as a fantasy owner about that. Drake May, before he left the game, did rush for 46 yards and a touchdown. He only had 23 through the air. Jacoby Myers finished this game. Top receiver for the Patriots was Kayshon Boutte. Kayshon Boutte with the yards. I don't really think Kayshon Boutte is an ad, guys. Actually, I think that the Patriots are willing to pretty much sell anybody on their team at this point in time. 5 receptions, 45 yards for Hunter Henry, who is one of our tight ends to watch for this week. If you needed a filler as injuries, like Hawkinson not coming back yet, if you were looking for somebody, he was one of our options. He did okay, not great.
And now we got bye weeks. Steelers are on a bye.
Steelers on a bye. There's a couple other teams on a bye. 49ers, I believe, are on a bye.
Niners are on a bye. Yeah.
There is another team. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It might be.
Niners, Steelers.
You look that up. I'm going to start into the next game, okay?
Okay.
Because I definitely want to know who that other team is. Guys, moving into the next one, this was the AFC matchup upset of the week. This was an awesome game. Watched it in its entirety. This was the Baltimore Ravens heading up to Cleveland to take on the Browns, led by Jameis Winston. Jameis looked great in this game. I'm not going to lie. He had 41 attempts. He had 27 completions. 334 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, Kyle Hamilton did drop an interception that would have saved the win for them, but unfortunately for the Ravens, that's just how it works. Other than that, he did not have any picks. Jameis did. Nick Chubb, not the greatest day. He is still kicking that rust off. 16 rushes, 52 yards there. They played Deontay Foreman a little bit. He had a little bit better production as well. He only had 26 yards, but on 5 carries, so more yards per carry. Big talk of the town for this game was Cedric Tillman out of Tennessee. This is his 2nd season. He is finally getting some playing time with Amari Cooper gone. Cedric Tillman, 7 receptions, 99 yards, and a game-winning touchdown for the Cleveland Browns. Elijah Moore.
See the ending of this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you didn't watch this one, I don't know what you were watching.
This one. That's probably why I didn't notice the other two, because I was watching this one.
That would make sense. I'm not forgiving you, but it would make sense.
I wasn't watching Red Zone. I was just at.
Oh, okay.
I went to the Hillview.
Okay, you were watching it at the bar, eating food and having some beers, some Coca-Colas.
No, I think I had Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay, getting wild on a Sunday. Do you remember when we were talking, Ben, on Saturday about Jameis Winston and how this was going to make every single one of these wide receivers better?
Yeah.
Look at these stats. I'm just going to read off the top 4 wide receivers for you from the Browns, and you tell me in chat or on wherever, you could flag me down on the street, where you have seen better stats from Deshaun Watson from his skill players. Here we go. Cedric Tillman, 99 yards, 7 catches. Elijah Moore, 8 catches, 85 yards. Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy, 5 catches, 79 yards. And we said Njoku was probably one of the tight ends to play of the week. 5 catches, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. We were right. Jameis Winston, immediate upgrade for the Cleveland Browns. Do I think that makes them anything more than the Cleveland Browns? No. But at the same time,
they're going to make things interesting.
They're going to make things. That's exactly what I was going to say. They're going to make things interesting. They're going to knock teams out of the playoffs. They're going to make teams fight for wild card spots.
They can still.
They could.
They still have a chance to make the playoffs.
They are 2-6.
They're 2-6.
They have to win
very,
a lot
very
of games.
low.
They got to win a lot
They
of
gotta
games.
go 1-9 or 9-1
9-1
to
probably.
finish the year.
Man, I don't know. They could probably end up 9-8. They could probably go 7-2.
I think.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think in the AFC it's going to take 10-7.
It's
to
not
get
a
into
thing anymore.
playoffs.
Or is it 9-8 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take teams to get to 10-7 to make
In the
playoff-
AFC, for sure. If
yeah.
they were in the NFC, it'd be a different story. I agree with you. Let's take a look at the Ravens stats here, guys. Big news out of the Ravens room today is that they have acquired ex-Pittsburgh Steeler, Mr. DJ Dropson, Deontay Johnson.
And I'll run backwards after I catch the ball.
Yeah, Mr. Run Backwards himself. What I will say about that, Ben, I don't know if you have the same sentiment, but having Zay Flowers and Deontay Johnson, who are very shifty route runners, is going to be a big move for Lamar.
Oh, yeah.
However, if anyone is in chat asking us right now, is Deontay Johnson going to the Ravens an upgrade for Deontay Johnson? The answer is no. They don't throw the ball. Like, Deontay Johnson doesn't get a big upgrade in fantasy football because of going to Lamar Jackson. I don't believe that.
I mean, there's a slight uptick.
A tiny one. But you have to remember,
He's going from having basically 2 crap quarterbacks.
as wide receiver number 1.
I understand this, but I mean, I think Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton. And
I agree with you.
at
But
this point, and
I think the scheme,
definitely Bryce Young.
the scheme of their offense, though, is run first.
Yeah, but if you notice, all the most of the pass patterns are like slants and zigs and stuff because
True.
of the RPOs.
True. Let's take a look at the stats for the wide receivers for this game. I mean, Lamar did throw for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns. His completion percentage on this one actually wasn't very good as opposed to what he's normally been at, 23 completions on 38 attempts. But, I mean, that's not too terrible. It's a little over 50%. A little bit.
That's decent.
But I wanted to look at the wide receivers real quickly. Lamar, 48 rushing yards. Derrick Henry, 73 rushing yards, only 11 attempts, 1 touchdown. But, so we have Zay Flowers here. That's 7 receptions, 115.
Had a hell of a day.
He had a great day. Do you, like, when we get, like, I feel like this is going to be his stats right here, Ben. Like a Nelson Aguilar. 3 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. That's decent.
It's decent, yeah.
But I think that Deontay's getting like 18 points right now playing on the Panthers, being the number one
I mean,
option.
he's had good games and he's had bad games.
So do you think it's an
like-
upgrade for him?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. We can agree to disagree on that one.
I think the ceiling is higher.
The
now.
ceiling may get higher, but the floor gets lower because
Yeah.
my biggest fight with you would be on this is you have to pass the ball around to Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he gets lost.
A lot of
little
mouths
bit.
to feed, but like
But yeah, the Browns did win this game. Guys, me and Ben are done arguing with each other about
yeah,
Deontay Johnson.
I think he's going to do fine in Baltimore.
Oh, I think he's going to do fine. I just don't think it's an upgrade for him in fantasy. That's all.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll find out. That's why we record this so we can go back and look. Guys, I think, like Ben said, the Browns are going to make things interesting moving forward with Winston. They did just shake this up now because the Baltimore Ravens come in second in the AFC North with our Pittsburgh Steelers leading the pack. We'll get to their game here in a moment.
Kings of the North.
Kings of the North, led by Joey Porter Jr., didn't have a great day. We'll get to that.
He doesn't watch Game of Thrones, so he doesn't. Really
No, I don't
that
like Game of
reference.
Thrones. Sorry. Next game, this was the argument between me and Lou, quarterback versus quarterback. Philadelphia Eagles traveled to Cincinnati Bengals to kick their butts.
Yeah, they whooped them.
They
Bengals
kicked
suck.
their butts. Jalen Hurts, 16 of 20. Good accuracy,
Yeah,
low
he's
usage.
accurate.
236 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley once again runs the show. 22 rushes, 108 yards.
And then the touchdown vulture himself.
And this is my argument. And I know we have a lot to talk about today, and we went deep on Deontay, and I won't go too far on this. But Jalen Hurts having other men grab his tuchus and push him in the end zone is not athletic. That is not an athletic move. You could put me in there, and they could do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't really. He had 3 touchdowns, guys. One was an 8-yard rush. The other 2 were men grabbing his tuchus and pushing him in the end zone. I hate Jalen Hurts. Anyways, receiving for the Eagles, Devontae Smith had a comeback game. 6 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts is a loser. A.J. Brown, 5 receptions, 85 yards, no touchdown in this game. I think he was on a touchdown run since he came back from injury, and this is his first game without one.
Yeah, he had a
But still,
touchdown
85 yards and a
two.
touch, or 84 yards and 5 receptions is still pretty decent. Looking at the Bengals side of things, where real quarterbacks play, this is what a quarterback usage should look like. There was one interception on his part. Joe Burrow, 37 attempts, 26 receptions, 234 yards. Is that the same amount? 2 more for Jalen Hurts. 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
That's still not. I mean, for Joe
It's
Burrow,
not elite.
that's not a good day.
That's not a good day for Joe Burrow. I will attest to that. Chase Brown, 12 rushes, 32 yards, and a touchdown. Absolutely horrible day on the ground.
They
Zach
couldn't do
Moss,
anything
5
on the
rushes,
ground.
11 yards. The most efficient runner, Joe Burrow. How disgusting is that? Come on, Bengals, get it together. Looking at some receivers and some tight ends in this game who played well. Jamar Chase was the lead wide receiver, obviously. 9 catches, only 54 yards, but he had a touchdown.
Higgins was out, right?
Higgins was out for this game, which is a main factor for Burrow. I will give him a slight bit for that, but not much. He should still show up.
He should still be fine.
Mike Gesicki did have a good day. It was mostly towards the end of the game, but 7 receptions, 73 yards. Not terrible. That's really all I wanted to cover for this game, guys. There wasn't much of injuries or anything crazy going on with either of these teams at this time. Bengals obviously kind of falling apart.
So, and Goddard's still out with the hamstring.
Yeah.
He's week to week.
Hey, and he's a pretty tough dude, so that has to be a pretty serious hamstring. Because remember, when he broke his arm last year, he put a cast on that boy and
he
came
played.
right back out. So, yeah, he's got to be pretty banged up. We'll move into the next one here. This was a closer game than expected, and we also have some more big news out of one of these teams. This was the Colts playing the Texans. Texans were the host in this game. The Colts have finally moved on from Mr. I'm tired, let me take a play off. Anthony Richardson. He will be moving to the bench and watching Joe Flacco play football.
Yep.
Do you think that is an upgrade for every Colts player?
Yep.
Me too. Anthony Richardson, I don't hate the guy. I don't think he's terrible. If you look at his stats compared to Josh Allen's stats, like with the same amount of games and the same way through their career, they match. They're the exact same.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's time.
I just think that he needs to be Josh Love. Or Jordan Love. He needs to be sat behind the veteran, watch him, see
he needs time to develop.
Yeah, he needs to see how Joe Flacco does it. Because Joe Flacco, when he's played in these games, guys, he's done well.
Yeah,
he has. He beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at some stats in this game. The other big news out of this, though, I did want to mention is Stephon Diggs out for the year, ACL injury. Unfortunately, sorry, Stephon. That sucks. We really wanted to see you playing down there in the Texans. It looked like you were having a ball. But let's get to some player stats here. Anthony Richardson, like I said, absolutely abysmal. I'm going to read this off to you. And just, I want to, I was going to see your facial expression. I seen it. He had 32 attempts, folks. 10 completions. 10. That means he was 33% in this game.
That's
bad. Okay.
That's real bad.
175 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He rushed 6 times for 45 yards. Don't care. That was terrible.
No.
Jonathan Taylor highlighted this team other than Josh Downs. Jonathan Taylor. I don't know why I keep saying Josh. I just want to name everybody Josh. Anyways, Jonathan Taylor, 20 rushes, 105 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 yards to carry. That's his return game, and that's great for him. I think he did pretty dang well. I don't understand how Josh Downs had 0 carries for 13 yards, but apparently that was the thing.
That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Josh Downs, though, also had 4 receptions. He had a touchdown and 109 yards. He almost had 2 touchdowns that got stopped at the 1-yard line. That's how Jonathan Taylor got his touchdown.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Michael Pittman will have a better games now that Joe Flacco is the quarterback.
Alex Pierce will get an uptick.
I don't think Adonai Mitchell is somebody to watch it. A.D. Mitchell just doesn't seem like he's developed enough either.
Yeah, no, he's
hasn't done
solidly
anything.
that wide receiver 4.
People were taking him in the 16th round thinking, hey, he might be something in fantasy. No, not the case. C.J. Stroud for the Texans, he had an okay day. 25 to 37, 285 yards and a touchdown. Joe Burrow-esque day. basically the same stats, but a
Yeah,
little bit more.
he didn't have any turnovers. He
No
didn't fumble or
turnovers.
throw an interception. So.
Joe Mixon had 25 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty decent day for Joe because I
Yeah.
believe he did. Yes,
How
he had
many
4
100-yard
catches.
games has he had this year?
Like it feels like it. Now this is
I think
including
it was-
rushing and receiving together. I think he has a 100-yard game in every one that he's played, not injured.
Yeah.
He's doing great.
Yeah, he's doing awesome.
He's doing awesome down there. Yeah, he like I said, 100-yard game for him on the ground, 32 through the air. He also had 4 catches. Tank Dell didn't have like the most amazing game, but he did have a touchdown, 35 yards, 4 catches. 4 catches for Dalton Schultz, 52 yards there. And then Stephon Diggs, before leaving the game injured, had 5 receptions, 81 yards. Unfortunately, like I said, ACL, he's going to be gone. Do you think, I know they get Nico Collins back. Do you think that they go searching for a wide receiver now, or do you think they stay with John Mechie and with Xavier Hutchinson and just get Nico Collins back? Because that's basically
a
the
good
same
question.
team as last year. You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Because what if Deontay Johnson on the Texans would
I
have been
think
pretty
they
good
might
too.
just roll with what they got.
I
to
believe
be
so
honest
too.
with you.
To be honest, I think that they stay with what they got. Maybe they'll go and take some people off of some practice squads, but I don't see them making
Yeah,
any
I don't
trades.
see them making a big deal.
Next game, this game was crazy.
It seemed like it was going to be a shootout
I know.
at first.
Dude, okay, so
Like-
the game is 14-14, and I'm like, wow, the Titans are really bringing it to these really good teams, like, with their defense. They're, like, kind of slowing them down, and Mason Rudolph kind of looks decent. And then all of a sudden, it is, by the end of the game, it is 52-14. This was the Detroit Lions taking on the Titans, guys, in Detroit.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It was like the Lions were playing on all Madden and decided, screw this, changed it to rookie, and just
Yeah, it
beat
was
the crap out of
it
them.
was like you played as Ohio State and we're playing an FBS school.
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
This was crazy. Let me go over the Titans stats real quick because they aren't very good, but there are some notable players to take a look at. Mason Rudolph's day now wasn't great, but it was serviceable. He had 22 completions on 38 attempts, 266 yards, 1 touchdown through the air. He had 2 interceptions. He also ran 4 times for 29 yards and got a touchdown on the ground. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not great,
It's
but
not-
not bad.
not-
Take the interceptions out, and it's a great
Yeah.
game.
You get saved by the rushing touchdown for sure.
Yeah, he gets saved, but I feel the same way. Tony Pollard, 20 carries, 94 yards. They used Julius Chestnut again. Apparently, he's not just eating hot dogs, folks. He is also running the football 7 times for 32 yards. Calvin Ridley had a day.
Yeah.
Have yourself a day, Calvin. Yeah, he had 10 receptions, 143 yards, guys. It seems like they have addition with subtraction there. Take D-Hop out of the play, and
Yeah, it
everybody
seems
does
like it.
better. Ever since Mason Rudolph has taken over, Westbrook Akine has a touchdown in every game. Don't pick him up, guys. That's all I'm going to say there. Don't pick him up. Tyler Boyd, not that much. I also wanted to mention Tony Pollard, 3 catches for 23 yards. Let's look at the team who did immaculate.
Yeah.
Okay, this team had 3 guys throwing the football.
They
in this
didn't
game.
even throw for 100 yards.
Yeah, they didn't. That is right. They didn't even throw for 100 yards. Jared Goff, 12 of 15, 85 yards, 3 touchdown guys. Then they put in Hendon Hooker. He was 2 for 3 for 6 yards. Whoop-de-doo. David Montgomery threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
To Laporta.
Yeah, to Laporta. Jameer Gibbs rushing on the ground, 127 yards, 11 carries, 1 touchdown.
Had a huge day.
Montgomery also had a touchdown on the ground, 33 yards, 9 carries. He didn't get as much usage, but he was injured the week before. So you got to imagine you can use Jameer Gibbs and let David Montgomery take a little break. Sam Laporta, like he just mentioned, had a touchdown, 48 yards, 6 receptions. Khalif Raymond, I'm not even going to tell you the yards because these guys have less than 20 yards. Khalif Raymond had a touchdown. Brock Wright had a touchdown. Amon-Ra had a touchdown. He only had 2 receptions for 7 yards. Amon-Ra, quiet day. That touchdown doesn't save him because of his normal usage. In my opinion, I think the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. Ben, do you agree with me?
I would agree with you.
They're just all around. There is nothing
Yeah.
about them that is
They're
bad.
just- yeah.
Sorry. Next game was Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers hosting the Atlanta Falcons for the second game of the year. This time, without all of the wide receivers. It was pretty barren on Baker's side, but he did not
He
care.
still came out and played.
He did not care. Baker Mayfield threw 50 passes for 37 completions, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Bucky Irving was the lead running back with 9 carries for 44 yards. Rashad White, 6 on the ground for 29. Rashad White in the air, nothing. It doesn't look like. Oh, yeah, he had
No,
5.
he had-
I'm
he had
sorry.
the touchdown.
I couldn't
He had the
find him.
touchdown.
I thought he did, too, and that's why I was like, wow, why don't I see him?
He had a touchdown.
He had 5 receptions, 38 yards, and 1 touchdown. Cade Otton was the big player of the day.
Yeah,
he was one of our highlight tight ends for the week that we let you know about on Saturday. We said add Cade if you need
Yeah.
a tight end, and guess what? Cade was the number 1 tight end this weekend. 9 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Money.
You heard it here.
You heard it here first. Bucky Irving also did a lot through the air, guys. 7 receptions, 40 yards. Leading wide receiver was Rakeem? I think it's Rakeem Garrett. I think that's how you say it. I think it's Rakeem. Rakeem. Whatever. But yeah, for the Buccaneers side of things, it was mostly running backs and tight ends who made the day happen with Baker. Kirk Cousins had a great day.
Kirk O'Chains.
Second time he has 4 touchdowns against them this year.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. 8 touchdowns total for Kirk against the Buccaneers this season, which is pretty cool. His accuracy was through the roof. He was 23 of 29. He had 276 yards. Bijan, a little bit quieter of a day for Bijan when it comes to the ground game. 13 rushes for 63 yards. He also had 7 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Other people who scored in this game, Kyle Pitts, have yourself a day, brother. 4 receptions, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Darnell Mooney, 4 receptions, 86 yards and a touchdown, guys. They did use Tyler Algier a lot. He did not get a lot of yards, or he just didn't play that well, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
with
he
you.
only ran 2.8 yards per carry. So that's not good.
Do you want to keep running through the games, Ben, or do you want to
We can answer a couple questions.
answer a question or
Answer a
two?
question or
Sure.
two.
Let's hop in the chat and see what we got going on. First question is going to come here from number 3. He says Deontay Johnson or DJ Moore. I think probably DJ Moore.
I think, that's still DJ Moore for me.
Jacob asked, should I start Josh Jacobs over J.K. Dobbins?
Yes,
Yeah, I would.
I would.
Yeah. Next question is going to come from Brennan. Cedric or Adams? Man, I'd probably still go Adams in this situation. I know Cedric Tillman did well, but we can't just start starting him over Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I don't think, not yet. Maybe
Flex
another
him-
week.
Flex Cedric if you can, but don't play him over Adams.
Yeah, maybe flex him, Bray. I agree with what you just said. Ethan wants to know, trade away London. It would really depend on who you have, Ethan, for us to really give you that answer. Isaac, what's
Yeah.
up, bro? One of our top followers. How you doing today, man? Hell of a Steeler game. How's y'all's week going? Great, dude. Isaac, I went to the game. It was a blur. It was okay. It was a great time. I will tell you that me and a few Giants fans are not friends. They don't like me. I'm surprised I have a voice. Nice to see you, Isaac. Gabe got offered Brees and Tyreek for Kamara and Monty. Do I accept? I don't know, dude. I think that's a pretty even keel trade.
I would say yes, though.
I would probably, I maybe give you the yes because you're getting Monty on that offense, but Tyreek getting Tua back is also huge, Gabe. It would really depend on the makeup of the rest of your teams for your wide receivers.
He's getting Hill and Brees.
Then
He got offered Brees and
then
Hill.
Gabe, I apologize
I
for
would
reading that
totally-
incorrectly.
yeah,
I would take your
that.
trade. I would take your
take
trade.
that.
Rex Hillman, what's up, man? I know you're a regular follower. JSN, Terry McLaurin, or Gibbs this week? Which one you
Gibbs.
going with? I'm
It's
going with Gibbs all
for
day,
me,
man.
every day of the week.
Nick asked trade DK and Connor for Brees and AJ Brown, or Puka and Kenneth Walker. And Kenneth Walker for
right.
Brees and Brown. Holy crap, man! The way you worded that is really confusing. Trade DK and Connor for Brees and AJ. Yeah, I don't know who would take that trade though. That's crazy. I don't know anybody would take that trade.
I don't know.
But that's crazy. Knicks or Cousins? Brian, I'd probably go with Cousins.
All
And
right.
then one more question
more.
here. Let's see here. Next question is going to be from Kellen. Oh, he just says Kirko all day. Yeah, absolutely. Evan wants to know Pearsall or Tillman rest of the season. I think I would probably at this point in time need to see more Evan, but Tillman seems to have a little bit higher of a role in his offense in perspective to what Pearsall is in his offense.
I mean, he's wide receiver 2 or 3.
Right, but
Without
I mean,
Ayuk there.
CMC's back next week, dog.
So
This is another one of those usage things.
I understand. I understand.
He-
I
like,
understand.
like
I
if
understand. But I mean, like the
if
wide
Purdy's in
receiver
the
can-
backfield and he sees George Kittle, Debo Samuel, and CMC, and then Ricky Pearsall,
I mean,
I don't know. I can see where you're
I don't
coming
know.
from.
I think he's gonna be fine.
Either one of them,
So-
I think they're pretty even kill. Raj, pick up Henry or Ertz in waivers. I would go with Henry. Let's get back into the next game here, Ben. We'll clean these games up and then we'll get back to our chat. Next game was the New Orleans Saints, and they took on the Los Angeles Chargers in Los Angeles. They got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
The only person who did any bit decent in this game was probably Kamara, and then Olave had some yards as well.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill threw one pass. Hayner took over at quarterback. That's when the game got decent because Spencer Rattler was only 50%, 156 yards.
Yeah.
Hayner was he was also 50%, so I don't know why I'm tooting his horn that much. But Hayner was 9 for 17 for 122. Neither of these quarterbacks do really great. Derek Carr's supposed to be back this week, so Saints should be in a little bit better hands.
Yeah, should
finally.
be. But
Yeah, Kamara, anyways, he had 10 carries for 67 yards. He had 6 receptions for 55 yards. And then, like I said, Olave, 8 catches, 107 yards. Basically, when we're looking at the Saints, that's all that they had going on today. Justin Herbert.
2 days ago.
Well, 2 days ago. Okay, yeah, it is Tuesday. Whatever. Justin Herbert, he did okay. He had 20 completions on 32 attempts. He had 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pretty serviceable. J.K. Dobbins, 17 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown. He was also used in the ground or in the air, but not that much. 4 catches for 11 yards. Our boy Lad McConkey,
Went off.
he caught both of the touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 6 catches, 111 yards, guys. Looks like Lad McConkey is number 1 wide receiver over there. Josh Palmer, I've heard rumors he might be available for trade. Would you like him? I don't. I think he's glass. I think he's just as glass as any other Chargers.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't like him.
I mean, if we give up like a 7th for him.
Okay,
like,
7th, sure, I'll take it.
like a conditional 7th that could turn into a 6 if he does.
I don't know who he would start over though.
I mean, he'd be wide receiver 3. Him and Jefferson would probably swap in.
You're
and out.
taking Calvin Austin out of the game?
They're all good. They would all rotate in, dude. I don't know what you want me to. I don't know what you want from me. Like, they would still play. They would all still play.
I don't know what you want from me.
I'm just.
Next game, we thought that the Bills might be imposters. Apparently, the Bills are not imposters. They absolutely blew up the Seattle Seahawks, who have been going real downhill as of late.
Yeah, they haven't been
started undefeated, did they not?
I
They had a
believe they
couple
started. Yeah, they
undefeated
started
weeks.
off 3-0.
Now they are 4-4. The Bills won 31-10. Taking a look at the stats on the Bills side of things, we had a pretty decent day out of Josh Allen. He ran the ball for 25 yards on 7 attempts. He threw the ball for 24 completions on 34 attempts. He had 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. James Cook, have yourself a day, brother.
Also went off.
He had 17 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdown guys. Very good day out of James Cook. When we're looking at wide receivers, a person I love to hate, Khalil Shakir, 9 receptions, 107 yards. I'm sure Lou is in Mexico wearing a Khalil Shakir jersey, and they hate him. Keon Coleman continues to show up, continues to get better week over week as Amari Cooper has been implemented into this offense and takes a lot of the coverage off of him and allows him to play in a different position. He has 5 receptions, 70 yards, another touchdown. Dalton Kincaid, 4 catches, 31 yards. He also had a touchdown. Taking a look at the Seahawks side of things, Geno Smith, not so bueno.
Yeah, no, he didn't look good.
Not at
on
all.
Sunday.
Not at all. He had 21 completions on 29 attempts, which that part's not bad. For 212 yards, no touchdowns, one interceptions. He ran for more yards than any of their running backs. He had 5 rushes for 16
Yeah,
yards.
their running game was non-existent.
That's terrible. Charbonnet, who is not worth holding in fantasy football any longer, did have a touchdown, but he also had 3 rushes for 4 yards. So you know exactly where he was used and what portion of the game. Nope. One. He had one chance at getting in the end zone. He got it. JSN was the best wide receiver when it comes to the Seahawks. He had 6 catches for nice amount of yards,
Yeah.
69.
Because DK was hurt. He didn't
DK
play
was
in this
hurt.
game.
And you didn't see Lockett do much of anything. He only had 1 catch for 9 yards. They were really asking this week if we thought that we should play Lockett. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think he's
He's past his prime.
past his prime.
He's old. Next game, a thriller.
Yeah, this one right to the very end.
Very last second. How about that interview? Did you see the interview of the Commanders fan? He's like, "Yeah, this is a really close game. I felt like we won." And then all of a sudden the touchdown happens and everyone around him is just like freaking the hell out. Oh my god. I thought it was a good clip. But let's first take a look at the Bears, who had this game in the bag until Tyreek Stevenson decided
Until they
to
didn't.
play volleyball with the ball. Caleb Williams did terrible. I just
Yeah,
want
he
to know. I just want to
wasn't good
note
at
that all these good games that he's been having, this game he
So,
sucked.
I mean, that last drive to go down the field and kick the field goal was a good drive, but other than that, he wasn't very, very good in this game.
No. When you look at Caleb Williams here, he had 10 rushes for 51 yards, but when he was playing quarterback, he had 10 completions on 24 attempts for 131 yards. That is poo-poo kachoo. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions. DeAndre Swift, still the man.
Yeah, he had a good day.
He had a great day.
He had a really good day.
18 carries, 129 yards, 1 touchdown. And then in the air, he was not used at all, it looks like, in this game. Number 1 wide receiver for a team that only put up 131 yards was Roma Doomsday. He had 41 yards on 3 receptions. Keenan Allen, 2 for 39. DJ Moore, 2 for 27. Cole Kmet, 1 for 14. So that lets you know how that went for them. It was mostly rushing yards that got them through the day. Taking a look at the other side of things, Jaden Daniels wasn't expected to play in this game. Last minute, they announced he was.
Yeah.
He did well, too. Not as well as normal. He didn't rush as much as normal. Usually, he's got a lot more rushes.
He
He had
ran
8.
for 52 yards.
Yeah, but he only had 8 rushes. Usually
I know,
he has like
but
11,
compared
12.
to the average quarterback,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
still
compared to an average quarterback who
a
isn't
good
Lamar.
amount of rushing yards.
Yeah, for sure. He wasn't very accurate, though. He had 38 attempts. He only had 21 completions, 326 yards, though. A lot of it came on a Hail Mary at the end of the game, which is where he got his 1 touchdown to Noah Brown as the game was ending, and Tyreek Stevenson decided he was going to make fun of fans instead of paying attention to the game. Our boy Brian Robinson Jr., he had 16 carries for 65 yards. He was used 1 time through the air for 11 yards. Jaden Daniels, like he mentioned, 52 rushing yards on 8 attempts. Eckler, 7 rushes, 52 yards. He actually got sprinkled into that game a decent bit, but not in the passing game where you would expect him to. 2 catches for 6 yards. That is really bad. I just clicked back out of the game because I'm dumb. Let me get back into it. Terry McLaurin was the lead wide receiver in this game. He had 5 receptions for 125 yards. Zach Ertz, decent day, 7 catches for 77 yards. And then Noah Brown obviously had that touchdown. He had 73 yards, but basically all those yards came on that touchdown.
Yeah.
Next game was a little bit closer than what you probably would have expected. This was the Las Vegas Raiders hosting the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, who everybody is kind of tired of, I think. Patrick Mahomes in this game, a little bit better than what he has been performing at. 27 completions, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Travis Kelce, a great game. Taylor Swift was probably so happy. She was probably writing a song about it. Xavier Worthy, he had the other touchdown thrown by Mahomes. This was he had 37 yards, 4 catches. Kareem Hunt, not a lot of, this was kind of like we said about James Conner. Not the greatest day, but can you complain? 59
Yeah,
yards,
he got a
one
touchdown.
touchdown, and he had a catch as well, not for a lot of yards, only 4. Raiders kept us a lot closer than I expected them to.
Yeah.
You want to know who the better quarterback in this game was? I think it was Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Statistically, he 30 attempts, 24 completions, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Alexander Madison probably has the worst stat line of any running back this week. He ran 14 times. He has 15 yards.
Yep.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
Well, I mean, Zamir White had 2 rushes for -1 yards.
Okay. Basically, what we want to tell you is there is no run game in the Raiders offense. As expected, lead wide receiver, not by much though, was Brock Bowers. He had 58 yards on 5 receptions. Then you had Jacoby Myers. He had 6 catches for 52 yards. He had one of their touchdowns. DJ Turner had their other touchdown, but he only had 28 yards. So not really anything to write home about when it comes to DJ Turner, Trey Tucker, any of those guys in their offense. Let's move into the next game here. I had to switch earpieces. Did you see that? That was sly. I did that while talking. Next game I want to talk about is the worst team in the NFL taking on the Denver Broncos.
Who are 5-3.
They're 5-3. Do you think they're legitimate contenders? I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. You tell me. Are they?
I don't think so. I think they're going to be on the bubble. They'll be like
Wild
the
card?
first 4 out type
Okay.
deal.
They could be in the wild card though. You think yes?
Yeah, I think they could make a wild card.
As like the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
At
agree.
best.
I can agree with you there. They
At
do not
best.
look terrible.
Because, I mean, they do. I think they have to play the Raiders again, or
The
maybe even
Chiefs.
twice.
I know they have to play the Chiefs still.
Yeah, they still have to play the Chiefs, and they could like split between the Chargers.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: the Chargers, who we didn't mention
So
this.
they already lost to the Chargers earlier, but
Yeah, but the Chargers are decent too. Like
I know
when it
the
comes
Chargers
to,
are 5-3 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
AFC looks stacked in comparison to the NFC. Excuse me. But let's look at some stats for this. Now, Bryce Young did play again. He wasn't great. He had
No, he was
37
awful.
attempts, 24 completions, 224 yards. He had a pair of touchdowns and a pair of interceptions, guys. Do you think that he won the job back and stays for next week? I know that Andy's hurt because of the car accident.
yeah,
But, like, do you think he re-won the job? Because Andy Dalton hasn't looked good.
I mean, sure, he re-won the job.
I think it would be
It's
smarter.
the Panthers. They suck.
Yeah, they do suck. I did hear news today that they are refusing to trade Chuba Hubbard and they're refusing to trade J.C. Horn. Both those players, who are
Okay.
probably their best players, they are not willing to get rid of either one of them. Chuba Hubbard, 15 carries for 56 yards. He was used in the past game,
Thielen's
too.
been rumored.
What's that?
Thielen has been rumored. to
Oh,
teams as
Thielen,
well.
yeah. I could see them getting rid of Thielen because of his age, because it's not like he's going to be there forever. Hubbard had 15 rushing yards, guys. When it comes to anybody of any fantasy relevance here, there really isn't. That Jalen Coker, who we mentioned 2 weeks ago, who the heck is
Yeah.
that? He, once again, is their leading wide receiver. Xavier Legette is okay. Don't get me wrong. He's a bench stash player. If you're in Dynasty, he's for sure somebody to hold on
yeah,
to.
definitely.
Yeah, because he is good. It's just like...
Even Coker's got value in Dynasty.
Is he a rookie? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I did not... See,
Yeah, no,
I haven't done
he's
my
a rookie,
research on this
so-
Coker fella.
Yeah, no, he's got value in Dynasty.
Okay. So, yeah, they have Dynasty value, but, guys, they have very, very little value in regular fantasy.
I think Leggett gets an uptick, though, with Johnson being sent to Baltimore.
Very true.
So I think Leggett will
Yes.
get more. And because I think also and Thielen is possibly going to be gone. Mm-hmm. Get
No,
traded.
I could agree with that completely.
So-
I didn't even think to put that A and B together on that one.
Yeah.
That's Leggett, I would say, is the one who gets the uptick there. Let's take a look at the Broncos side of things because Bo Nix is kind of balling out right
Bo
now.
Nix is playing good. He's playing good.
Pretty dang
Good
good.
ball.
He had a rushing touchdown. He also had 37 attempts for 28 completions,
Yeah.
284 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
He accounted
Pretty dang
for
good.
all their touchdowns.
Yeah, pretty dang good. Leading rusher in this game hasn't been in the last couple was Jaleel McLaughlin. Wow, man, I couldn't
Yeah,
say his name for a
McLaughlin.
second.
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to call him Jaleel.
Yeah, Jaleel McLaughlin. It's
Jaleel
not that hard,
McLaughlin.
It's just Glock.
McLaughlin. I'll try. He was the leading rusher with 47 yards on 8 carries. But, guys, Javonte Williams rushed 17 times and only had 44 yards. No touchdown.
Yeah.
Not very good.
I
not very
mean,
productive.
he's still they do split the carries between those guys, but he's still like the lead back.
Yeah,
So
he had less yards on 17. Than,
I know.
that
but, like,
one's scary.
Yeah, I know.
Against the Panthers.
It's been like that the majority of the year, though.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Adam Troutman had a really cool touchdown in this game. It was tight end day.
Yeah, it was National Tight End Day.
He got a touchdown on tight end day. I wouldn't consider him somebody to add. He had 85 yards. Cortland Sutton a decent day, 8 receptions, 100 yards, even no touchdown. And then Jaleel also had a catch for a touchdown. Nate Adkins, who's their fullback, had a touchdown. Not guys to really pay attention to in fantasy. Maybe Jaleel, maybe McLaughlin, but
McLaughlin.
other than that, I don't see a lot of value on Broncos offense other than Bo and Cortland Sutton, really.
Yeah.
Just not really much going on there. Just 2 more games to cover here, guys, and then we'll be hopping in chat. So if you are listening live here on TikTok, make sure that you're popping your questions in the chat because we're going to be starting those up real shortly here. The next game I wanted to cover was the Sunday Night Football game. Now, this game wasn't very close if it wasn't for CeeDee Lamb because the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers, the 49ers were manhandling most of this game from what I was watching.
Yeah.
Dak, 25 completions on 38 attempts. He had 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to CeeDee Lamb, and then he had 2 interceptions. Zeke was the leading back. They pulled Dalvin Cook up. He did nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, expected. That's what you said would happen.
Told you.
Yep. He had he had an average of 2 yards per carry. He had 6 carries for 12 yards. Zeke did not do that much better, though. 10 carries, 34 yards. He did have a touchdown, like I mentioned.
Both out of their prime.
Yeah.
They're both cooked.
Rico Dowdle was out with, I believe it was a flu.
Yeah, he had an illness.
So that's why he did not play, guys. Not injured, just sick. Like I mentioned, CeeDee Lamb went off, saved him a fantasy football week, also made me lose a fantasy football week by 1 point. He had 13 receptions, 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 30-some fantasy points, 40-some if depending on the way that
full
you're...
PPR, that's 40-some points.
Yeah, and full PPR, 40-something. Jalen Tolbert, not really that crazy of a day. He had 3 receptions, 44 yards. Jake Ferguson did not get a touchdown on tight ends day, unfortunately. He had 6 receptions, 23 yards. Not much else going on for the Cowboys. But when we take a look over here at the 49ers, there are names that are doing things. Did you know that Brock Purdy had more rushing yards than the entire Cowboys offense?
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
I did not know that, no.
Brock Purdy was 18 of 26 for 260 yards, 1 touchdown. He also ran 8 times for 56 yards and had a touchdown. Jordan Mason, he did get injured at the beginning, towards the beginning of the game. They replaced him with Isaac Guerrero. Isaac Guerrero had a great day, 14 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. He also had 17 reception yards.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to say Ricky Pearsall had a run for 39 yards, and he still had, 4 catches for 38 yards?
Yeah.
So he's going to be used.
Yeah,
regardless.
he's used.
I think he's a good stash.
He is a good stash. I
think he's a really good
Who
stash.
are we comparing him to?
I forget.
I forget to even have the argument with you, to be honest, brother. But taking a look at the rest of these stats.
It was
here,
Tillman.
guys. Who?
Tillman.
Oh,
Pearsall or Tillman.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I concede that Ricky might be a little bit better. But looking at the rest of this game, like I said, Isaac Guerrero did great. Brock Purdy did great. George Kittle, the inventor of National Tight Ends Day, 6 receptions, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. He had a great day. Deebo Samuel, 4 receptions for 74. Wow, I can't talk. 4 receptions, 71 yards. There, I got it out of my mouth. Whew. And then your boy, your best friend, Ricky P.,
He had 4 receptions for 38 yards. He also, like you mentioned, had an end-around play for 39 yards.
Yep.
It looks like the 49ers are on the mend. They're on the better half of what's been going on with them. CMC looks like he is going to be returning after the bye week. That's great news for them, even though these fill-in running backs have been doing great for them. Their running back room is like it's like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, no, Shanahan can have any running back produce for him.
Yeah. So it seems. Next and last game that we will cover that's a recap, and then we do have the Thursday night game that we want to look at just real quickly, is the game that I was at last night. And let me tell you, it was thumping and bumping, Benjamin. I almost wore a salmon or a catfish costume. And I got out of the parking garage, and I looked around, and nobody else was in Halloween costumes, and we were like, nope, let's go put Steelers uniforms on. But this game was actually pretty awesome. The referees were way too involved in this game from what I watched live at the game.
Yeah, no, a lot of flags.
It was just flags the entire game. The highlighted player that I watched last night was probably Calvin Austin for the Steelers. But let's dive in first to the Giants side of things. Just take a look at some stats. They're not very good. Daniel Jones was 24 of 38. He had 264 yards, 1 interception, 1 fumble. When he fumbled that ball, I thought a group of 12 Giants fans were going to fight me because I was giving it to them.
Oh, God.
I was giving it to them. And then I told them they were guests in our stadium, and they all sat down. I was like, "You're a guest in my stadium, buddy." And he just was like, and sat down, and all these Steelers fans beside me were cracking the hell up. It was great. I was like, scoreboard. Anyways, Tyrone Tracy, he did great in this game. He had 20 carries, 145 yards, and a touchdown against a strong Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Devin Singletary is back in full, and they did not use him in the rushing game.
It's Tracy.
It's Tracy time.
Tracy Jr. show.
He's a decent replacement for Saquon. They did okay.
Yeah. He did have to leave the game. He left the game with a concussion. So he's
Tracy did?
Yeah, he's in concussion protocol right now.
I must have been in the bathroom during that portion, folks.
It was
Sorry.
late. It happened late.
I had a lot of colas. I was drinking them colas. That was the DD. Darius Slayton had a game. He was making me angry. He had 4 receptions for 108 yards, no touchdown. Malik Neighbors could have had a touchdown, couldn't keep his feet down. 7 receptions, 71 yards. Other than that, guys, there wasn't that much to talk about with the Giants side of things. They had a lot of field goals. Whoop-de-doo.
Yep.
Russell Wilson, who has taken over for the Pittsburgh Steelers, once again looked like he was fluent. He had 28
really
attempts. Yeah, he looked
Looked
good.
really good.
And the only thing I would say that Russell Wilson does not look good in is under pressure. Like, he can throw the ball away, but he ain't running nowhere.
I mean, he's good enough to move around in the pocket.
Yeah, but not like run for a
No, he
10-yard
can't.
game.
No, he would need a lot of space.
A lot of space. Yes,
order
he
to
is
do that.
slow now. I don't know if I mentioned his yards and stuff. 278 and a touchdown, guys. He would have had 3 touchdowns. One was called back on a penalty for holding. Another one, these were both George Pickens touchdowns. Another one, George Pickens got his same foot down twice, which apparently doesn't count.
Yeah.
Apparently, you have to have 2 different feet down. You can't tap the same foot twice. I don't really know if I love that rule. How do you feel about it? It's a strange one to argue either side of the point.
Yeah, no, I feel like me personally,
Yeah.
that would count.
That's the way that he caught that.
Yeah,
I think, it should count.
if anyone would have done that,
Is it now? Are you saying that biased
would've counted.
Steelers? Do you think that's a bias because it happened to the Steelers, or do you actually feel like if it was against the Steelers, you would feel the same way?
yeah, if it happened against the Steelers, I'd feel the same way. Like, he tapped his foot twice. Like,
Yeah.
you don't.
I agree with you.
I don't. So
From my seat, I'll tell you, I thought he got 4 feet down. That's what we were all saying.
yes,
It looked like
but then when the camera angle shows clearly that
Yeah,
he didn't
his-
get that.
his foot.
He
I think
didn't
it was
get the
his
left
right
foot.
foot hovered, or left foot maybe
his,
hovered.
His left foot, hovered, didn't touch the ground. But he
Weird.
tapped the right foot twice.
I don't know. I've
I
never
don't know.
seen that happen before. The
And we'll
rest of the
probably
stuff-
never see it again.
I hope not. I hope not. Najee, another great game. We told you guys he was one of our star players of the week to plug and play. He was an absolute start. And guess what? He was hurdling people,
his third-
throwing people
Third 100-yard game
in a row. Yeah.
I think that's the first time he's ever done that.
This dude is on fire.
Yep.
Anyways, I won't ever do that again. I said that Jalen Warren was going to do better, guys, and he sure did. He had 9 carries for 46 yards. 46 yards. He also had 2 catches for 13. I know that isn't crazy, but if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and you've been watching Pittsburgh Steelers football, you know that the plays that Jalen were in on, they were big plays. They were plays. to
He
get first
averaged
downs.
5 yards a pop.
Yeah, true. And he averaged 5 yards a pop while he was carrying the ball. George Pickens, lead receiver, 74 yards, 4 receptions, would have had 2 touchdowns, but they both got called back, like I mentioned. Van Jefferson has come alive under Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown,
So-
I believe, last week. He has 62 yards and 4 receptions this week. Don't pull the trigger on him yet, guys.
No, I mean, he goes on your watch list, though.
Yeah, I think that
So-
the higher watch list player out of the two, though, is Calvin Austin.
Yeah, they can both go like on your watch list
Yeah,
for sure.
I would add Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin on your watch list, as the Pittsburgh Steelers pass game does seem to have improved under Russell Wilson. Calvin Austin, 3 catches, 54 yards, a touchdown. He also had a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Something like that.
Something crazy. I remember seeing while I was at the game on the big screen, they said that he traveled 117 yards in order to acquire the touchdown.
Phew.
Yeah. So through the air, we pretty much covered everybody.
The ball got spread around. Holy shit.
The defensively, Beanie Bishop.
We're going over defensive stats now?
Well, no, I just wanted to cover Beanie Bishop. He has another interceptions.
Yeah. 3 in 2 games.
And then our last game, guys, that we want to cover, and that is just going to be the Thursday night football game. That's going to be the Texans, and they are taking on the Jets. Me and Ben were kind of talking about this game before we went live. I did have a bet for it. Ben, how do you feel this game goes while I get my bet up?
I feel like it's going to be a slot fest, to be honest with you.
And what we were
Like,
first talking about is I was wondering, did you think that like who has this game in the bag kind of deal?
No, it's not in the bag. I think it's up in the air because Stroud isn't playing that great.
And
he just loses Stephon Diggs for the year,
Nico's not back.
and Nico's not back yet. So, and that Jet defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah, the
So,
Texas
I
defense is
understand-
pretty decent too, I would say.
It's
They've got names,
yeah.
but
But I mean,
who do you think wins
I
this
just-
game?
the Jets are bad. So
Yeah.
like,
You think they're gonna?
I think Houston hangs on in a close one.
Okay, that's surprising that he said that, folks. Because I will say beforehand, I was like, "Oh no, I've got this bet, my 750 bet of the week, and I don't want to tell everybody if I don't think that this is going to happen." Because he was thinking the Jets might win. This game is in the Meadowlands, guys. Let me tell you what I have for your 750 Wombo combo bet of the week. I have Joe Mixon for an anytime touchdown. I have Garrett Wilson to have over 61 receiving yards. I have the Texans -3. That means they're going to win. And I have the game to go over 37 points. That's a plus 750 bet for you for this week. I try to get you one for every single Thursday game, and that's what I was able to come up with. It looks the most possible for me for you to win money. Last week we were off by 1. We had 4. We got 3 of them. The last one was the Vikings, and
It's
the Vikings.
always that last leg.
The Vikings couldn't pull out the win, so that's why we lost last week. So let's hope we can get some money on this week. Ben, did you have anything else you wanted to cover? I obviously am taking the Texans in this. You said you're taking the Texans as well.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans as well.
Okay. Well, guys, that's going to be it for today. I just want to thank you once again. If you were listening on YouTube or Spotify, make sure you're following. Make sure you're hitting that subscription button. We'll be back once again Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then make sure you're following along on YouTube. We have all of our content there. From this point on, let's just move on to our live Q&A then.
Yeah, we can